Wasting away in a cubicle, your jerk-face boss is implementing the new micromanaging techniques from their yearly seminar in Honolulu. And someone took your pastrami sandwich from the refrigerator. Again. The mind-numbing repetitiveness of the daily activity is soul-crushing. Your phone begins to call out to you. The dreamland levels of Candy Crush demand your attention. So you decide to take some me time for the next 15 minutes. You might even believe that these 15 minutes of your non-productivity are metaphorically sticking it to your boss. But is it really? In his book, Enjoying It, Candy Crush and Capitalism, British writer Alfie Bown suggests that although the leisure afforded by games like Candy Crush and Fruit Ninja may seem like a brief respite from your mechanical capitalist grind, it may be quite the opposite. They're all part of your humdrum capitalist existence. But this is nothing new. This societal demand for constant gratification goes all the way back to the 19th century Victorian concept of rational recreation. Rational recreation was a belief in a hierarchy of leisure, where the urban working class was introduced to the concept of relaxation in the direction of self-improvement. Instead of activities like drinking, napping, and fighting, workers were encouraged to spend their time doing productive and organized things like team sports and stamp collecting. The idea was to keep workers engaged, happy, and domesticated instead of unruly, subversive, and wild. Because a happy worker is less likely to strike. While we may not live in Victorian England, contemporary capitalist culture continues a new form of rational recreation, with an arbitrary distinction between productive and unproductive enjoyment. Basically, we're culturally biased against video games.
Have things gone a bit too far?
It's the reason why, at early ages, kids are pushed into t-ball and soccer and not gaming. I mean, one rots your brain after all.
I just like jumping on things and killing them.
So if our capitalist overlords don't want us playing games, does that mean we're heroically bucking the system when we game? What if the end of corporate capitalism and consumer culture doesn't end with the whoosh of a fiery Molotov cocktail and violent revolution? What if it is heralded by the beep boop beep of handheld games? Well, probably not. There are a couple of obstacles to the revolutionary potential in games. Most games require a massive amount of investment in order to keep up with the increasing demand for pleasure. Between DLCs and microtransactions, grinding games like Diablo, Destiny, and World of Warcraft generate entire economies of their own. Not to mention the people that spend their day making pennies to farm for virtual gold, or the six-figure salary you can make as a professional gamer. There is literally an entire economy that thrives from the profit created from gaming. People enjoy games. They spend hundreds of hours playing, building relationships, and they trust in their game designers. Sequel after disappointing sequel is snatched off the shelves with the hope that some inkling of the original magic will remain. The new shiny advertising object is dangled in front of the consumer, one legendary camouflaged limited edition console at a time. It's hard to see how games can eradicate late modern capitalism if they're such an easy product to sell. And how can anyone be upset about their working conditions when they've cleared all the jelly in level 147 of Candy Crush? It's impossible because you're too busy yelling, "In your face!" to your tablet.
Yes! In the face!
What we are dealing with is a particular type of ideology, an ideology of consumer capitalism that mandates enjoyment. There isn't a pure, correct, or optimal object to enjoy, just that one ought to seek out and find pleasurable experiences. And this works perfectly with our society of advertising, where there's always a newer and shinier object promising pleasure. Capitalism promotes and demands that we find happiness, and that, most importantly, we enjoy that happiness. Surely your boss doesn't want you to play games at work, but the very concept of distracted gaming maintains a healthy work environment. While it should seem that the time that people take to play games like Angry Birds, Clash of Clans, or Doodle Jump hurts the workplace due to lack of production, it is the small enjoyment itself that keeps most people from burning the place down. So if even games are just trying to keep us happy while we toil away, does that mean all forms of enjoyment are destined to dull us to the utter meaninglessness of our corporate existence? Alfie Bown finds a ray of hope in a special kind of Lacanian enjoyment, jouissance. Jouissance is an irrational form of pleasure that borders on suffering. It is a sort of pleasure and pain wrapped in one, a sort of enjoyment that there's no explanation for, like watching The Room, picking its scabs, or playing Flappy Bird, or any of the Dark Souls games. With jouissance, there's an opportunity not to destroy our ideology that mandates enjoyment, but to reflect on how unnatural our feelings of enjoyment are. That we aren't beautiful individuals who are fighting the good fight against the corporate machine, and what we enjoy is predictable, sellable, and taught to us. Well, dear viewer, which one is it? Are we just non-playable characters in the ever-expanding RPG of late capitalism? Or are we a heroic avatar in complete control of our quest for liberation, fighting a consumer culture from atop the work commode, faces basking in the sweet incandescent glow produced by internet meme after internet meme? Hello, dear viewer. Still have video games on the mind? So do we. We're working on wonderful new videos exploring Dark Souls, Uncharted, and a lot more. So be sure to shoot this duck to visit our channel page and subscribe. Another great way to support the channel is by supporting our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Audible.com. Audible is the world's leading source of digital audiobooks. They've got more than 180,000 downloadable titles across all types of literature, including bestsellers and the latest releases. If you're looking for a new book to sink your teeth into, let us recommend Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. It's a fun and exciting dive into the world of gaming and virtual reality, something we'll be covering soon in an episode of 8-Bit Philosophy. For more about Audible and to start your 30-day free trial with a free audiobook, go to audible.com/8bit to sign up. Thanks for watching, beloved viewer.